Hi guys, and welcome to Get Reviews. Once again, I couldn't make it quite in time, but I'm really excited to review The Hunger Games and Frozen. So this is my first two-in-one review. I just decided to do things this way this time because I don't have a lot of time to speak about those two movies. But I'm going to do some other things soon. Stay tuned for upcoming different things that I'm going to show, and maybe more in the holidays because those days around holidays are non-working days, so I will be able to film more things. So let's get started with Frozen.
Who's the funky looking donkey over there?
That's Sven.
Uh-huh. And who's the reindeer?
Sven?
Oh, okay. Make things easier for me. Oh, look at him trying to kiss my nose. I like you too.
So Frozen, what to tell you about this movie? Well, I was very excited for Frozen, and I am still excited for Frozen, although I already saw it. But here's the thing, I don't like very much musicals. But that is just me. I just don't like films that they sing all the time. It really takes me out from the action. And although the songs are very good and beautiful and awesomely shot scenes and everything like a music video that's in the movie, every song is really amazing with great sound. But I rather prefer this movie to be more fun, and I really prefer this movie to be more about the snowman Olive and the deer Sven. They both were just so awesome and funny, especially Sven, and the deer was very similar to the horse in Tangled, which really doesn't bother me because I just love the horse in Tangled. It was so cute and so amazing. He's so hopping around everywhere with his two wonderful legs, and he was very cute. So the deer is very similar to the horse. He acts like a dog, and he's really super funny and amazing. And Olive says some very interesting and funny things all the time. He doesn't realize that he will get melted if the weather gets warm, but you will see what happens with this later in the film. But let's get into the movie more. So Frozen is about these two sisters that are princesses. One doesn't have any powers and the other has the power of freezing, and she becomes the Ice Queen. And of course the problems are very much connected with her powers and the way that she handles them and the way that she thinks about them. So that is very key thing here in the movie, but I'm not going to spoil it now. So I'm not going to tell you the movie, I'm just going to tell you that all the characters are interesting in their own way. But once again, the singing is all the time. It's just one scene that, with most of the characters, let's just say, and after a minute or so they start to sing. Then one other scene and they're just talking, something interesting is happening and this is happening, and once again they are singing. And that is what I really don't like about the movie, because it gets really annoying. Well, then again, it's just annoying for me, I suppose, because it seems that a lot of people just love the movie. I also love the movie, don't get me wrong. I'm just kinda a little bit annoyed by all the singing all the time. And I was waiting to see Olive because he was the center of attention in most of the trailers, especially the first one with Sven and him. That little thing that they did with the carrot, the nose, Olive's nose, the carrot, and they fight over it. That was just amazing trailer. Well, it turns out I I don't want to spoil this, but I will tell you anyway. It turns out that this scene isn't even in the movie. It's not. This is just a commercial trick. So my most beloved trailer that I thought that it was a clip from the movie, yeah, it is just something that they did for the commercial purposes of the film. It's not like this is the first time that something like this is done, but it's really annoying because I waited for this scene. I was wondering, watching the movie, how they're going to integrate this scene with the story of the film. But everything was really different from what I expected to be, and and there is something similar like this scene at the end of the movie, and it's the thing with the flower when Olive passes by a flower and he stops to smell it, and then he blows out his nose. Well, this is integrated at the end of the movie, but is in the town square. So it's about 30% of the scene with the ice and Sven and how they chase each other and everything like this is missing. It's just the scene when Olive starts to smell the flowers and Sven just happened to be there. So that was really kind of disappointing for me. I was expecting more funny scenes with Olive and Sven, but unfortunately, although we see Sven from the beginning of the movie when he is a baby, everything is really not about those two. They're just something funny in between the story. Of course, there are some very main scenes with both characters, some main scenes and some with Olive, but but Olive really turns out in at the end of the movie. So that is really sad for me because I waited and I was annoyed by these songs one after the other almost, and Olive was nowhere to be seen, and just about just about a little bit past the 50% of the movie, maybe that was the point when he finally showed up. So I really think that Sven and Olive should have their own film because they're super funny and super amazing, and some of the jokes were kind of original, but other jokes were actually taken directly from the old Bugs Bunny animations. So that was something that I noticed because I love Bugs Bunny and I watched most of every episode that was ever created with Bugs Bunny, and I really noticed some of the jokes that they're absolutely the same, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Most of the people already forgot about those, but it's really something that when you know this, you will you will think that, oh, once again someone copied another thing because they thought that we forgot about this. Well, I personally definitely haven't forgot about those jokes, so I'm hoping that they are going to come up with more original jokes if this movie ever continues, and judging by its money in the box office, I think it will continue definitely. But I really think that Olive and the Deer Sven should have their own movie without songs, because this is gonna be the perfect comedy animation, just the perfect. And those two are really one of the best animated characters that I ever seen. They're so cute, and it really doesn't bother me that they took what they created with the horse and Tangled and laid some other funny layers to it, and go even further with this kind of a character and created such a funny deer. So I really don't mind this. I love to see this kind of a humor in character. I think it's something that should be explored more. So that was really cool. So that brings me really to the conclusion that if Olive and Sven weren't in Frozen, this movie will be a lot less interesting. In fact, I won't even consider seeing a sequel because those two characters are really the best. That not only me, but some people also thought that this movie will be very funny because of Oliphant's fan, but they went to see it just like me. They were disappointed that this movie is actually something like more like a drama with a lot of songs. So as a movie and as an animation, I will give Frozen a very solid 7.5 out of 10. Well, that's it for Frozen. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Let me know if you loved it, liked it, hated it, whatever it is. Let me know in the comments. And now let's go into the Hunger Games.
Remember who the real enemy is.
So the first movie, Hunger Games, was really something that I liked, but I didn't see it on the big screen. I just waited for the movie to come out on DVD because I wasn't that interested in the story. I don't like the idea that children are killing other children in the future. The idea is just terrible in general and very frightening and very scary, and it's not a future idea. It's more like something that would have happened in ancient times, or at least that's how I see it. So seeing the first movie wasn't that big of a deal for me. I can't say that I enjoyed the first movie, but I got the story, I liked the characters, and that was that. It didn't make much of an impression for me. But this second movie now, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, is just spectacular. It's amazing. It's got action, it's got drama, it's got interesting story, it's got wonderful dialogue. Everything is made in such an interesting and involving way. You will be at the edge of your seat the whole time, even though the game starts pretty much after the first half of the movie, or maybe a little bit after the first half of the movie, but it's really engaging movie. It's bigger, it's definitely better than the first one, a lot better. I was so excited all the time. Oh my god, what will happen now? Oh my god, what will happen now? It was very thrilling movie, definitely. So now I really can't wait for the third one. Just perfect. The new characters are awesome and all the actors play amazingly. It's just wonderful to watch. So there was a couple of very sad moments. The movie was just perfect. I can't imagine how the third part can beat this one. It's really hard for me to imagine that this is possible, but I really hope that the third part will beat this one and that it will be even better. I just can't wait to see what will happen next. So if you're wondering whether or not you have to see The Hunger Games Catching Fire, you'll definitely have to go and see it because it's worth it. It's really worth it, guys. And if you can see it on 2D, because I don't really think that 3D is something that you will enjoy here. The movie isn't for 3D. It has some awesome shots, but they are not worth the more money that you're going to pay to see it in 3D. So if you can, you'll get much clearer picture on 2D, and you'll get to see everything more clearly, and it's just better in general for this movie. So guys, have you seen The Hunger Games Catching Fire? Did you plan to see it? What do you think about it if you saw it? Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, subscribe. As I said, there will be some very interesting things that I'm going to film as soon as I have time. And I promise you that I will say my first impressions on Batman Arkham Asylum. And I don't want to make a separate video about this because there is nothing much that I could say about the game. I just don't like it. It's like some kind of a mold that something that someone else did on the game and released it for free in the internet. It looks like just it just looks like a mod. It's so poor. It's so badly done. The graphics are even worse. Well, of course on PS3, but the graphics are really not that good. And they didn't make any effort to make the graphics look better on the PS3. I would love to see it on the computer, but it's really no sense because the game is so terrible. It's such a repetitive combat. It's not exactly the same combat as the previous games. There the combat was more intuitive and you really felt like you got everything under your control, and if you make a mistake, you make a mistake, but it was your decision. It was not like they beat you because they're artificially stronger than you and they cheat with the way that they are created to act and to fight with you. No, you really got a really wonderful feeling with the previous games, especially with the second game. But this game now is absolutely like a mod. It's kind of like someone took something really beautiful and almost perfect, let's just say, and did it so worse. And definitely Warner Brothers Studios didn't do any justice to this game. They just ruined the franchise. And if there's ever a sequel to this game, and if Rocksteady isn't doing this, maybe I will try it from a friend or something like this, but I will not buy this again. It's just terrible. Some very experienced studio must take the wheel and do the game, or Rocksteady should take their game back. Show everybody how it's done. I don't think that I'm going to be finishing this game. It's so annoying. Kind of an open world, but you can't even go to a sewer that is just right there. You can't go into the water. There are really some very stupid things that next gen games never should do anymore. And even the current games that are actually next gen, they are actually current anyway. I mean that Batman should move freely whenever he wants. He should be able to get in the water, to swim. He should be able to go into a sewer when he sees it and stuff like this. Different kind of restrictions in movements are not something that anyone wants to see and wants to play, because there are a lot more games in third person that present much better gameplay with much more abilities and options and opportunities and much more freedom in gameplay. So this game absolutely sucks for me. Also, you can tell me in the comments what you think about Batman Arkham City. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I don't want to repeat myself because I really don't. And see you next time with Gary G reviews.